Welcome into Wednesdays at the Wink here on campus with the Walsh Cavaliers. Coach Rob Mizicko is here, joined by his two standout cross-country runners here as we are deep into the fall season with the Walsh Cavaliers. Remember, download and get your mobile app. Get everything that you need to know about all of the fall sports, all the athletics going on at the campus of Walsh University by getting the mobile app. Walsh Athletics mobile app, wherever you get them, Google Play, Apple Store. Make sure to stay up to date on it and always visit over at walsh.athletics.edu. Guys, Coach Rob, you again, I mentioned he's a repeat offender. He's been here a couple times now. You got a chance to break down the team going into the season. We had you on just a few weeks ago. I believe that was just hours before they were going to release some rankings. I believe your boys came in at third during those rankings. The girls were at 6. Tell me how everything has gone since that last meeting that we had here.
We've had our conference meet, and it went extremely well. The men won their 5th GMAC championship in a row, and the women were a strong second, which was the goal going into it, to Cedarville. So, we're right where we want to be going into this weekend's regional meet.
So your runners that are joining us here today, Mitch Dunham, you are let's see here. You are out of Boardman, so close to the area. Obviously, Cameron Barker, we were talking before you came on from Louisville, and kind of joked with you about coming from the wrestling family, as Coach told me, and we've covered a lot of wrestling at Stark Media, so I've had a chance to see those wrestlers out there on the mat. Great program there at Louisville. But for you guys being the leaders of the pack on your individual men's and women's team, talk about how this season has gone for you. Obviously, from the start, it's a long race, right? You run a long race. How has everything, Mitch, gone for the team as a whole this year?
This year's been a little bit different because we don't have the front runner that we're used to.
Like you don't have the craft.
Yeah, last year we had Kraft, and it's easy to be confident whenever you've got somebody that's going to get 4th in the nation. But this year we've kind of had to rely on our depth a little bit more, which has been honestly a great change of pace, and I think it's brought us together a little bit more as a team. We kind of rely on that pack mentality. Yeah. So it's been exciting. It's been fun.
For your team, Cameron, the girls, obviously, they mentioned to me, the ones that came on, talked about, and similar to what you mentioned, Mitch, last year you have the front runner, you have the guy that's leading out there, but now you have more pack style running within your group. Talk about the girls on your team and really how you guys have fared thus far.
Yeah, I said we're doing pretty well so far. We're a pretty young team. We have one senior right now, and the rest of us are a lot of underclassmen. So we don't have as much experience per se, but we have gotten a lot better at running together and kind of relying on each other and using that as a strategy to do well. And I think we have a lot to improve on, but we've done a lot well so far, and it's going to be a great rest of the season. So,
as we're here at Wednesdays at the Wink, we remind you to always stop up here when you're coming off campus. If you're just coming by here off of Market, stop by Washington Square. Wednesdays at the Wink, obviously not the only thing we do here. There's plenty of different deals going on in regards to food, drinks. We've had Chelsea come on a number of times to tell you about that. Just make sure to come out and patronize our good friends here at the Washington Square Winking Lizard. Also, again, these promotions here at the campus and the university, and also on Stark Media, brought to you by Altman, Huntington Bank, Bell Stores, Stark Media Group, Cleveland Clinic Mercy Hospital, and the SAM Center. If you can, get behind the SAM Center and our military, as we always do, giving away over 6,000 pounds of food every first and third Friday of the month out of downtown Massillon. Serving area military. Check out all that Brian Bowman and Lucia do with their new location as well up in Canal Fulton. The last time we had the ladies on here, got a chance to talk to Bailey, who's also a Louisville product herself. She's one of those young runners you talked about on your team. Talk about some other girls that you've kind of seen now and said, you know what, I expect them as they go through their career and their progression here at Walsh to end up being a really standout runner.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 2 freshmen that came in this year, and it's just been really cool to see them develop and to just experience the college training and kind of go from the 5K to the 6K, and it's been nice because we all kind of run together, and so we all pull each other along in workouts and different things. And so I can definitely see as those girls go up through their college years of running that they'll get a lot more experience and become a lot stronger aerobically, because it is a pretty big transition going from your high school training to your college training, and both of those girls came from completely different backgrounds in training. one was more like a conservative and the other was more of like a, very aggressive, different type of style. So it definitely is an adjustment, but I think both of those girls have strengths in different areas, and that this training through coach is really going to help develop them into really great runners. So.
Coach Rob, remind me again, who was it that you brought on with you from the men's team last time you were here?
I had Drew Monahan
Drew.
and Anthony Toscan.
Now Drew's one of your senior runners as well, right?
Yes, Drew is.
For you guys, Mitch, as a group, kind of talk a little bit more about your young runners, guys that you see that, Coach, when he gets on here and tells me about his recruiting and the state of the program, I'm thinking you're going to get the best of the best that come out of high school, to come and run here because of the strength of this program, and that's a testament to your coach. Talk about some of the young runners in your guys' group that have really kind of stood out to you.
Yeah, I mean, big ones are Theo Pappas and his twin brother Spiro. They kind of had unique training in high school where they were only doing like 30 miles a week.
Okay.
Whereas like we're almost doubling that like volume now that they've gotten into our program. So it's definitely been an adjustment for them, but they've adapted really well. So one of them is going to be traveling with us down to regionals. So it's a good adjustment that we have somebody that's going to be carrying the torch for the next couple of years.
How old were you when you got into running? Were you a middle school guy? Did you just get into it in high school? Was it something that kind of came on late for you?
I mean, I ran in middle school. I wouldn't say that I liked running.
You're right.
But
Who did?
I did it.
So I kind of talked to Drew about this a little bit, differing styles of how you train for cross country. And you just kind of brought that up, that they came from a different background, that they weren't doing the output or putting out what they do here on campus, and that could probably be hard for a young athlete coming in to, when I don't know, have you seen different styles, what you kind of think works best, or is it everybody's body is individually, this is going to be better for you compared to me?
Yeah, training is always individualized. One thing I would say about our program, though, is like it's all strength-based, so we do a lot of like aerobic work. And so, if you just trust the process, through years of running thousands of miles and doing hundreds of workouts, eventually, like your body's going to adapt and you're going to get really fit. So a big thing is just joining the program and like knowing what you're getting into and just trusting the process, because none of it's glamorous. It's not always fun, but it works.
You got to learn to love it, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
You find the passion in it, right, Coach? And that's really what you're looking for kids that are coming out of high school, whatever program, so to say, they came out of. Is there a passion in that young person? It seems that you have a lot of those young people on your team. For you, what have you always kind of felt works best? You mentioned you just got done the conference meet. As you get ready for regionals now, is it starting to taper back more? Are there certain days that we're going to push hard, like maybe a Monday, Tuesday, and start to cut back towards the end of the week as you get deeper into this thing?
Yeah, we've cut back a little. I'm not a big believer in cutting back too much, but we have cut back a little, and the athletes should feel that in their legs as we get into these bigger meets. But overall, it's we do our workouts on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we continue to do the same days. So the system stays the same. It's just a little less volume maybe.
Yeah.
But overall, it's it's kind of set in stone what we do on this day and throughout the year.
Yeah, I'll let you guys decide who wants to answer this one first. But after talking to the runners the last time they were on the show, I asked them, where's your favorite place to run? Right, the conference was just at Cedarville. Mm-hmm. And I think it was almost a consensus, other than maybe one person, that said Cedarville was one of their favorite places to run. For you guys, I mean, obviously, with it being the conference meet, and you're getting to see the best of the best and compete against everybody inside of the GMAC, is that one of your favorite places to run? Is there anywhere that stuck out to you, like throughout your career, that you said, you know what, I enjoy running this track more than any other one that I see?
You can go ahead.
I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I would say I did like the conference course at Malone because I had an advantage with the hills that some other girls might not have had, because I've always ran hills in Carrollton and some in Louisville, and just in training we train hills pretty often. So especially at the beginning of the season. So that was something that I really liked because I ran well there. I liked Lock Haven this year too. It was just a flat course, so that was cool to, run a really fast time there.
Yeah.
So Cedarville's definitely a good course, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. But
Okay. How about for you?
I definitely like Cedarville. We race it so much, so it's kind of hard not to
Yeah.
grow to like it and have good memories. But I think my favorite would have to be Hillsdale. I grew up in Boardman, and I ran in Mill Creek Park a lot, all through high school, and that's really hilly.
Yeah.
So I've kind of always taken to hillier courses, and Hillsdale is definitely one of the tougher ones, and I've always liked that.
It goes
aspect.
well. Hillsdale
Yeah.
with the hills.
Yes, sir.
So for you guys, you mentioned you've done Cedarville a lot. Do you expect as an athlete, somebody that's competed on that course before, that every time you go out there you're going to have a better time? Do you start to learn, like take me into maybe the psyche of the runner that, okay, this is my 7th, 8th, 9th time out, 10th time out on this course. I know certain parts now that this is where I'm going to push a little bit harder. This is where I think I can pick up some time. This is, is that kind of go through your mind, the whole strategy of your run that day on a course that you know well?
Yeah, I definitely think there's like an aspect to it where it's like, oh, you're gonna push up this hill and then kind of let
I know
the
what's
hill
coming
take
down
you
on the
down,
backside
you know,
of it.
you're
Yeah.
gonna, like kind of relax and just like recoup. But I think like racing it from time to time, like just being confident that we've gotten more training under our legs.
Yeah.
You've done some workouts in between then and your last race, so you should be more fit.
Yeah, and I guess
theoretically.
regardless of the layout of the course, you're running the same distance, right? So
Yeah.
you just expect by the end of the season you're going to be where you've shaven down a lot. Coach, what is the rhyme or reason of working with your athletes when you talk about trying to trim time in certain areas? And maybe there's times where you go out and you don't hit the mark that you want to. You want to be peaking at the right time, conference, going into regionals, but there's got to be a strong balance too, because none of us go undefeated in this thing. Whatever sport it is, you're going to have wins and you're going to have losses.
Yeah, I think you have to look at it all overall. I mean, with the men, we're training for 10K the entire year, and we don't run 10K until this weekend.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, setup in the training for 10K that is not there on the women's side, because the women see 6K the whole year. So we kind of work off of that volume number, and everything specifically based around the volume of what we're going to be racing. And then we basically pick the workouts that are suited for racing well at the end. And over the years, I think we've got it narrowed down pretty good on what workouts to do on what weeks to put them in the best position at the conference meet, regional meet, and national meet.
All right, Stark Media here with Walsh University out at the Winking Lizard, Washington Square. Make sure to stop out, patronize them, and make sure to stay up to date. All things Walsh Athletics. Go to athletics.walsh.edu and also download the Walsh mobile app wherever you get them. Google Store, Apple Store. Go and download the Walsh mobile app. Get tickets. Stay up to get stats. You'll be able to get their numbers on there. I believe they post all the mile splits. Mile split handles all of your guys' stuff is what? Mile Split does all the high school stuff, right?
Yeah, we're on TFers.
Okay, so go there. You'll be able to get it. Hey, don't even worry about what Coach just said. Just get the Walsh mobile app. You'll be able to find everything on there. Find out what's coming up as we're running through the fall season here, getting close to basketball season starting up. A lot of great things going on. Shout out to Athletic Director Nate Cochran, Greeny, Christina Payon, always getting us set up, and they do a great job with their student athletes, promoting them and putting them in the best position. So stay up to date on Walsh Athletics with the Walsh mobile app. Conference meet, it's a fun time, right? It's where you're seeing the best of the best. You're competing at a higher level than just, let's say, second week of the season, right? And with regionals coming up too, and you start to think as an athlete, this is where I want to have my best. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. What's the mindset waking up in the morning or going to bed the night before? Is it like Christmas is the next day? It's like, this is the regional meet. This is what I've waited for all year long. I want to go out there and produce. Tell me what kind of goes through your mind pre-race, maybe night before, the big ones like the conference meet and regionals.
I think our team has always done a pretty good job of having like momentum shifts around like big workouts, around races. Like you can tell that there's a higher energy rather than just showing up to a random Wednesday practice.
Which those can be hard
so,
sometimes,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. But I think, realizing that, we've woken up multiple times at 5:30 and gotten really amped up for a big workout. And now realizing that all those, workouts are just a culmination that leads up to this regional meet, that it's like, it's here. Like, this is what we've been training for all year. So it's like the energy is definitely there. It's just a step higher.
How about for you? I mean, when you start to think about some pressures you put on yourself, I mean, I know from talking to Bailey and her girls and talking to Drew before, talking about the different styles, the pack running or having somebody that's out in front. You're all individually running and want to have your best individual time. The pressures that you put on yourself for something like that, is it something that, like what Mitch said, hey, even when we went out there 4 or 5 months ago at 5:30 in the morning, I'm running. You're running for that moment, which is the time you line up at regionals, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, what's kind of going through your head as you wake up that morning? Are there any superstitions that you have? I'm going to wear the left sock is going to be inside out, the right sock is going to go the right way, or anything. Do you eat a certain thing before you race? Certain type of pre-race music?
I'd say I try to keep pretty much everything consistent.
Yeah.
So if I've eaten it before a workout, I eat it before a race. I try not to change too much and kind of keep everything very low-key and the same as it usually is. I don't like to think about the meet too much before.
Okay.
It's nice being with the girls, especially if we're traveling. We all have fun together, and that kind of distracts you from the race a little bit, because you tend to get those nerves a little too early. It can kind of stress you out a little bit, and so it's nice to think about the race earlier in the week and set those goals, and then just kind of try and keep everything neutral and relaxed until the race. And then when it's time to get up and warm up and do all of those things, then you can really start to turn on that mindset of, I'm here to compete and I'm here to go after those things. And then the adrenaline kicks in when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot about timing and just kind of managing things, and just learning like what works for you, and keeping those things consistent for race day.
I mean, can you psych yourself out before races? I mean, if somebody knows that there's a Zach Kreft out there running that day, I mean, can it psych you as a competitor? Like, wow, this is, nobody's going to catch this guy today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you totally can. Like, if you, I don't know, like, I asked a couple of my teammates, I was like, oh, do you think I should go out with Noah Fisher at the conference meet? And, like, I was a little nervous asking that, like, not knowing what they're saying. And, like, I already lost the race, like, prior to it, thinking, oh, I don't know if I can hang with him. You know? So you can definitely psych yourself out.
Well, I at least like the fact that you're thinking, hey, let's take a shot at this thing, right?
Yeah.
That's where you should be at as a competitor, right?
Yeah, and it's just hard to judge, too, because anybody could be having a bad day. You could be having a bad day. They could be having a great day. You just don't know, and you don't know what their strengths are and what yours are on certain courses sometimes. And I think the best mindset to have is to just go into it with what you can do, and if you find yourself in a place where you can, challenge someone that you want to challenge, then you find yourself there. And if you don't, then you might not. But having those expectations a little too early on sometimes, it can be good and can be bad. I mean, it just depends. So everybody's so different. I think it's just good to focus on what you can do and to figure out, how that's
Coach,
gonna
that's some
affect
pretty
your
good stuff right
race.
there, man. She seems like a savvy veteran, like the way she's talking right there.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, she's good. That's perfect. She's good. No, that's pretty cool to hear that. I mean, that's what competitors do. They want to challenge somebody, I want to know who's the best, so let's go out here and find out. And excited for you guys to be able to get a chance to see that and have that opportunity coming up with regionals. And I know that that's special. And so for all of our fans out there of Walsh University Athletics, Mitch Dunham, Cameron Barker, Coach Rob joining us here today at Wednesdays at the Wink. Make sure to stop by here. Check them out, Washington Square. Anytime you're leaving the university or you're just up in North Canton, stop by the Winking Lizard here at Washington Square. All right, we're going to take a little break. When we come back, here a chance to get up with the girls volleyball team. Have you guys been out to any of the women's volleyball games? I think it's really cool, the matches, when you see, and I've talked to Coach Rob about this, but it seems like all of the athletes support the other athletes and they show up at their events, and I think that's something that makes Walsh a little bit more special, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. We have a pretty good SAC program
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that we really try and reiterate is, athletes going and supporting other teams. So yeah, they do a pretty good job of getting
Now,
people out.
I'm gonna jog my memory on this one too. The young man that runs for you, he's the president of the SAC program, right?
Anthony.
Is
Yes.
he a Boardman kid too?
No, he was from Lakewood down by Lancaster.
Lakewood. Okay. I was taking a shot in the dark there. No, Anthony does a really good job with that. I mean, on all the social media stuff, and he kind of broke down how they kind of support all of the student athletes and really what that all meant. And so follow them online, social media, everything. Get on Instagram, Twitter, and follow Walsh SAC. Stay up to date on everything that they're doing, athlete advisory committee for the student athletes. And when we come back, we'll hear from Coach Brett Holt, find out about their women's volleyball team and all the great things going on there here in the fall season at Walsh University. All right, stay with us. We'll be back.
The leader in quality drivetrain components, H&H Truck Parts is a name you can trust. Located in Valley View, Ohio at 5500 South Cloverleaf Parkway, H&H can handle all your heavy-duty truck needs. Come in and exchange your transmission, differential, or power steering gearbox. But that's not all. H&H is equipped to handle all your parts needs. Permco pumps, Muncie PTOs, Neapco U-joints, Spicer yokes, new Eaton clutches, and more. Let the professionals at H&H Truck Parts handle your transmission or differential installation in one of their 6 service bays. Specializing in drivetrain repairs, stop by and have your drive shaft balanced, flywheel resurfaced, or your clutch installed alongside the best transmissions and differentials on the road. You know why they're the best? Because H&H is Ohio's largest purchaser of Eaton Fuller parts. Need a blower or a pump? H&H distributes Paragon and Permco brands. Names you can trust with your livelihood on the road. Call H&H Truck Parts today for the leader in heavy-duty truck parts and service. Call locally at 216-642-4540. Toll free at 800-601-4540 or check them out online at hhtruckparts.com. The Fraternal Order of Eagles number 190 in Massillon wants you. Stop down to the Massillon ARE at 303 Wyrick Boulevard Northwest. And like our over 1,800 members experience daily, your Eagles membership will give you access to great food and drink specials. Having a party? Host it in our banquet facility and seat up to 400 people. When you're coming through downtown Massillon, stop by the Eagles and sign up. And for a small fee, you'll have access and be a part of a fraternity that donates over $100,000 a year to local charities. The Fraternal Order of Eagles ARE number 190 in downtown Massillon. Stop by or call us today at 330-832-7385.
At C.H. Vallis & Associates, we've been proudly serving the greater Stark County community for over 78 years. Locally owned, we cover your home, auto, business, and life insurance along with your group benefits. Our partnership with auto owners has allowed us to span not only Ohio, but throughout the entire country. Did you know that Auto Owners, an A++ rated company by AM Best and a Fortune 500 company, has ranked C.H. Vallis & Associates a top 10 insurance agency in the state of Ohio? From your basic home and auto needs to insuring some of the largest companies in America, there's a reason people choose C.H. Vallis & Associates and Auto Owners. Our dedication and passion for our clients and their coverage is part of our commitment to excellence. For all your insurance coverage needs, there's only one call to make, and that's C.H. Vallis & Associates, located at 1302 South Main Street in North Canton. Contact us at 330-494-2776 today and see the difference in customer satisfaction.
Welcome back into Wednesdays at the Wink here at the Washington Square Winking Lizard on campus with the Walsh Cavaliers, and we're joined now by Coach Brett Holt and 2 of his girls from the women's volleyball team. And Coach, before we introduce them or bring them on, man, it's been a heck of a year, first year so far. I mean, I think you've probably exceeded any expectations you could have really set. I mean, to just be sitting here, only 2 losses on the season, just kind of flying high, having a really great year. Girls are producing on the court. Just talk about the overall feel and vibe of the team right now, where you guys are at as you've made what we're already we're three-fourths coming on the back home stretch of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously feeling good about ourselves. We're sitting undefeated in the conference right now. We're the only team undefeated. We have a 2-game lead as we head into the final 5 matches over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, TJ Downing here now joined with, I'll tell you what, Aurora Levengood, 1,000 digs. Career, I mean, what was that feeling like?
It was a pretty cool experience, just having my team being so supportive of me in that moment. I didn't know that really many people knew until people were holding up signs and everybody was cheering me on, and just having my teammates surrounding me and hugging me and just being there for me in that moment was really cool. So.
Did everybody from T County come up and pack the house? There was a
Not
lot.
quite,
Was there a
not
lot of
quite.
Levengood fans
Yes,
in attendance?
there was.
Okay. Sidney, Dixon joining us again. You were on before. Both of you guys were on before. But give us the injury update. I see you're still in the boot. Anytime I see somebody in the boot, I just cringe because I've been in the boot so many times before. And when you're in the boot, you can't wait to get out of the boot because it kind of drags around with you.
She's forever in the boot.
Yeah.
The remaining of the year.
Yep. I've been in the boot since the first week of season till now.
Update us on kind of where you're at, like when you're doing therapy, rehab, or tell us about the injury and just how it's kind of progressed as it's getting better.
So for a stress fracture, there's not much like rehab you can do.
Yeah.
So I don't really do much with that. It's basically just stretching your calves because
And putting you in
of
a
the
boot.
shin splint. Yeah, and the boot. But I feel like it's getting better. I don't know if it's because of the boot or just what it is, but I don't have much pain anymore. It's just a precaution, I think, at this point.
What have you kind of done to maybe change your role in regards to guidance, with having to deal with an injury? From my playing days, I was thankful and fortunate that I never missed any playing time, but I remember being injured, and a lot of times your coach will look at you and say, I need you to take all that knowledge that's up here and deliver it to some others that are having to step up and play, maybe somebody, maybe a youngster that's out there for the first time. How have you kind of transitioned and almost being player coach yourself?
Mm-hmm. I would say this year, in previous years, I've definitely been like more of lead by example. This year, I'm definitely more vocal, I would say, with that stuff and just like asking people if they understand this or like what they think is the best option. But I still prefer to lead by example. I'm more of a quiet player than I am loud. So that's what I'd say.
Okay, Aurora, you have to update us here. So from the last time we had you on, I believe you guys were at 17-0. That was maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I think, when we met up here. Since then, you've lost 2. I believe you guys are sitting at 23-2 right now. Where are we at as we head to? I know you, the last social media graphics I saw, you guys have clinched your GMAC position and where you guys will be seated. When does that all start? What does the back end of the regular season look like? I know you guys are going to have a road trip this weekend. Highlight everybody as in regards to where you guys will be at.
So this upcoming weekend, we're at Northwood and Hillsdale. So playing 2 away matches that are going to be bigger matches for us is exciting moving into postseason. And then next week we have 3 bigger matches back-to-back. So we play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's going to be 2 hefty weekends.
I think you guys were getting ready to go out on a 3-game road trip the last time we talked, too. You guys went down to Kentucky, I believe.
Yeah.
That kind of presents a different challenge, right? I mean, it's back-to-back. It's usually back-to-back, but not back-to-back-to-back, and that's a lot to cram into 3 days.
Yeah, the way the conference is this season, everybody's had to do it.
Yeah.
A couple of teams have had to do it twice, so we're fortunate we only have it once. And we're fortunate that we're at home at least, so it's an exciting weekend, and I'm glad we're doing it on the last weekend just because there's so much at stake, and it'll just be nice to be at home and do it in front of our fans.
Yeah, when you guys do this road trip this weekend, I know logistically they kind of you'll be at 2 different locations, right? You said Hillsdale and Northwood.
Yeah.
So the distance between there, you guys will be at Northwood first, and then you guys will travel up to Hillsdale.
Down to Hillsdale.
Down to Hillsdale. Going to 2 different locations like that, I mean, it's to kind of keep everybody locked in and dialed in, especially when you got to think about the target that's on your back right now, right? Everybody wants to take down women's Walsh volleyball, right? You guys are the top dog. I mean, it's a lot to balance in regards to the mental side of the game, right? What you're going to be able to expect when, those teams are hoping to create a hostile environment inside of the gym, right?
Yeah, when we talk about that all the time. We talked about that the last time we talked, the way we started. We knew we were going to get everybody's best shot.
Yeah.
And now it comes down to just finishing what we started. And so, that's going to be the message here the next couple of days, and then into next week. We put ourselves in this position. So now let's just seal the deal.
So when you go into those gyms, and it was cool talking to I don't know how well you guys know Cameron Barker, the girl that was just on from cross country. She was like talking about the challenging side of a competitor, right? Like you see somebody, you're like, okay, that person's supposed to be the big dog. Like I want to challenge and go take a shot at them. For you, when you guys are out there, you're getting ready, and you know that everybody wants to take you guys down because that's what they're going to be pinning up on their wall. We just took down, Walsh University. The women's volleyball team is flying high, playing great this year. Do you enjoy some of the road stuff when you go into those gyms and people are getting loud trying to take you out of your game?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that it makes the environment even more exciting, and I think that it almost makes the win that much sweeter. So we're kind of like, you thought that you could have a chance, and we just kind of are like, no, like we're here for business, and we get it done.
So I think the greatest thing I've seen on Walsh social media here this fall season, and you'll have to tell me, Sidney, from your years being here, the atmosphere inside of the gym has been insane. And when I saw President Collins surfing through, I think that was maybe just like the week after I spoke to you guys, he's crowd surfing. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I mean, he was having so much fun. And the kid, the students and the student body, they're embracing it. I mean, that's got to be really cool for you to see that. Has this been the best atmosphere you've seen since you've been here?
Yeah, since I've been here, which is my 4th year, yeah, this is definitely the best atmosphere we've had by far. Like, we have, like, certain people that come every game or whatever.
Yeah.
But the past, like, those couple games that were, like, big games for us, they really came out and they showed up to, like, really support us.
I know I saw, like, the whole football team. They just got back from, like, one of their road trips, and they just packed the gym and came running out. And that's got to be exciting. I mean, those are the type of environments you want to play in. And remind us again, the GMAC tournament will be it's at one school, right? One location?
No, so this year they've changed a little bit. So
okay.
Tuesday, so 2 Tuesdays from, or 3 Thursdays, or Tuesdays from last Tuesday, will be at the higher seed for the quarterfinals.
Okay.
And then the highest seed remaining will host the semifinals and finals that Friday, Saturday.
So the atmospheres that could be recreated in here it's going to elevate with the GMAC, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, what talk about what conference play and conference tournament play is like. I mean, for those that don't know, I was talking to it was women's soccer last week, and they all talked about, I asked them their question, what's your favorite memory being here at Walsh through your 4 years? And they all were like, we took down Hillsdale in the quarterfinals last year. It was like it all went back to the GMAC tournament. Is that the same for volleyball and some of those atmospheres that you guys have seen before?
Yeah, I would say it definitely is the same, but we've never played at home really for the GMAC. So
you guys have always been on the road throughout your career?
Yeah, so this year is going to be a lot different. And hopefully people will still come out.
I'm sure they will.
Hopefully more.
Yeah.
Because that is going to be, and it's hard playing against other schools when they're hosting home, and we're playing against them, and they have all their fans here, but we don't have ours. So it is a lot different, and it is hard to do it like that, but make it work.
Now, not to foreshadow any of that because you still have business to take care of this weekend, but what are you most looking forward to with kind of tournament play coming up and the opportunity, I guess, when you think about stuff like that, it's win or your season's over, right? So, the opportunity to advance, already having this great season, you're working towards, you'll be going for 1,100 digs, right? You're just going to continue to keep climbing the ranks. Do we know who the all-time Walsh Cavalier is? Greenie, can you answer that?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, she's going to have a hell of a run at it, but, 1,000 digs, awesome stuff. For you, thinking about, win or be done, advancing this team, carrying it forward, trying to make it as far as you guys can. What kind of goes through your head when you think about that? Being a leader of this group. Not to put any pressure on you. Sorry.
No, you're okay. It really does come down to taking things day by day, making sure that our entire team is on the same page. In the past, I think that there's kind of been a mindset that, we're going to play this team, like it's going to be tough. But, I feel like this year we kind of have flipped a switch, and no matter who we're going up against, it's like, okay, it might be a battle, but we're capable. So I think that moving forward, each and every day, having that mindset is going to be crucial on the court. So.
TJ Downing here with Sidney, Arora, and Coach Holt. Wednesdays at the Wink, Washington Square Winking Lizard. Make sure to stop out, patronize them, and take care of all of our sponsors at Walsh University, Altman, Huntington Bank, Bell Stores, the Sam Center, Cleveland Clinic, Mercy Hospitals. Coach Holt, before you ever even took a peek at the roster, before you ever even got hired, did you imagine fall season that this is where you would be right now?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Perfect
think,
answer. Perfect
I don't
answer,
think
because
any,
it makes where you're at right now all the more better.
I mean, I don't think any coach who gets hired into a first year thinks that you're coming into a situation like this.
Yeah.
But that is all credit to them. They bought into what we're trying to do and what we're going to do moving forward. And they literally do come to work and do their jobs on a daily basis. And again, she talks about a mindset, and we really do talk about day to day. I tell them to come and do their job and do it the best they can do, and let us worry about what's going to happen down the road. And I think they've done that.
Yeah, and when you say us, you talk about your staff. Talk about the people that have worked beside you. You know, you've got to have great people on your side to win and to have success.
Yeah, Maddie's been with the program, I think, 3 years now. So she's been around and knows the league better, obviously, than I do. So she's had some good insight on teams and going into venues and what travel looks like. And then Jody has been, I think this is her 5th or 6th season. And you don't have many volunteer assistants who put in the work that Jody does.
Yeah.
And so that is valuable. She knows she does scout reports on her off time at school when she's an elementary teacher. And so her contribution to us might not always be on the court coaching, but the little stuff that she does off the court is stuff that's invaluable.
Yeah, when you're talking day by day, it's the little things that count, right? I mean, that having a scouting report, knowing what you're getting ready to go up against, where you're going to be able to, like Cameron was saying, challenge somebody, take your shots, where they might be rotating someone in, that's a little bit of a weak spot, and you guys can take advantage. I mean, that allows you to get those wins, right?
For sure.
Yeah, it's great to have those people on your side. It's great, all the success you guys are having. I'm happy you guys came out here again to be able to talk to us, and I hope that we continue deep into GMAC play, having you back on, since Greenie, she made her debut last week. I don't know if she's going to get on with me anymore, but we need to, all the fall sports, just having a really good run here. I know that it's a great vibe and energy on campus. That's why we love being here. So appreciate you guys stopping out and kind of updating us on where everything's at.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll continue to update you on women's volleyball here on the campus of Walsh University. But if you want to yourself, just download the mobile app. Check it out. It's the Walsh Athletics mobile app. Google Play, Apple Store, wherever you get your apps, download that. Stay up to date on what they're doing, schedules, stats. You can get your tickets, everything you need to know about Walsh Athletics by getting the Walsh mobile app. All right, that's going to do it for us here at the Winking Lizard. I'm TJ Downing. We will see you again next week with some more Walsh Athletics, our great friends at Walsh University. Make sure to stop out here, Winking Lizard, Washington Square. We'll be back here next week. Hang with us. We'll see you.
McNeil & Sons Tree Service serves the greater Northeast Ohio area by keeping your property clear all year round. Do you have trees that have stretched too close to your home? A rotted tree that has to go? Or perhaps even storm damage? No job is too big or small for McNeil & Sons. We specialize in large tree removal, storm damage, stump grinding, land clearing, and more. McNeil & Sons Tree Service is fully licensed and insured, so contact us today at 330-606-1126 for all your tree care needs, or visit us online at mcneiltree.com to schedule your free quote. The professionals at McNeil & Sons can inform you of your tree health and give you a risk assessment to keep your family protected. So call today, 330-606-1126. McNeil & Sons Tree Service, a company you can depend on with family you can trust.
Cackley Insurance is a locally owned home, auto, and life insurance specialist. Located in Cuyahoga Falls at 619 Portage Trail, Cackley Insurance puts their clients first, and as an independent agent, they are proud to serve their community. As a proud supporter of high school athletics in the community, give Cackley Insurance a call today at 330-929-6006 or visit them online at cackleyinsurance.com. That's KACKLEY insurance.com. And thank you for your support of Stark Media and high school athletics around the area. You came to Stark Media for the best? Well, now you got it. Check out Lindsay's Pizza on 2827 Whipple Avenue Northwest inside of the Hillsdale Shopping Center. The preferred post-game pizza of the Stark Media team is open until 11 p.m. and it has all the essentials for game day. Pizza, chicken, salads, and sandwiches are just a click away at lindsays.pizza.com. But you should trust the former Ohio State All-American and just call them right now at 330-477-3800. 477-3800. This is TJ Downing for Lindsay's Pizza, and I approve this message.